Okay, over the last couple of weeks, I've been noticing just some content online where people have been going in to do events. I'm not going to name any names or tell you about any of the videos or the content that I'm talking about, but just where people have gone and done events or set out to do challenges and they've failed, which is fine. Been things that I've not succeeded in doing in the past, and I'm by no way, shape or form any kind of superhero. But what's let them down has been their preparation, their ability to actually admit that some hard work needs to go into doing some of these challenges. None of us are good enough just to be able to go and do them. And the problem I think I have is the fact that the person that's done it hasn't really acknowledged the lack of prep, and that might be logistical prep, it might be in terms of research, in terms of the environment they're going to, and it might be prep in terms of actual bare bones training. But it's been almost kind of like oh look, I tried, aren't I great for giving it a go? Or even worse than that, where it's kind of like, look how naive I am. Isn't this really funny that I've packed my bike packing bags really badly and forgotten these straps for my gravel bike trip, where I've flown thousands of miles and ruined the environment and got somewhere, and now I can't do the event because I haven't trained properly, or whatever it might be. And I have to say, I find it really frustrating, and it is only personal opinion. It's only my opinion, and it comes down to the fact that I do tend to over prepare for things, and I couldn't do half the challenges these people are capable of anyway. But I have to admit, it really does wind me up a bit. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, I need to change something on this new wheel that I've got here, because I went out and did a test ride on it this morning, and it didn't work. Took the bike up to Ashton Court and had a bit of an issue with a loose cassette. I'll explain more in a sec. So I have some new wheels. The commuter gravel wheels are up here, and I have a set of road wheels off my Madone, but I need a set of dedicated proper gravel bike packing wheels. So I've got hold of these with thanks to Katie for her help getting both the wheels and the tyres. Lovely Hunt rims and DT Swiss hubs, and I've never had to put a set of brake rotors on, so I did that, which is fine. It's easy enough to do, and I put the cassette on. Now therein lies where the issue was. The cassette is loose on there, it is 11 speed, and I didn't realise it needed a spacer because these DT Swiss hubs are a little bit finicky about that. Point is, no harm was done because it was a test ride with these new wheels on there to make sure I'd done it all properly. No harm was done because I went on my own. I was only out for an hour and I discovered the problem, and it's a simple fix. The thing is, the reason why I took it out for a test ride is next weekend, me, Katie, Dave and Chrissy getting the train down to Bridgewater, and we're going to ride as much of the stage 4 GB divide as we possibly can. It's about 80k to get us from Bridgewater back to around here, and I'm pretty nervous. It'll be the longest off-road ride I've done. It's notoriously tricky, but the test ride today was in preparation for next Saturday, which I don't want to go wrong. And what we're doing next Saturday is part of a much bigger project that's going to be in a couple of years' time, which I don't want to talk about yet because I don't know if A, I can do it, and B, whether it's going to be feasible anyway. But it's a big picture thing. I'm thinking big picture stuff. The little hour I did earlier today is part of a whole day next weekend, which is going to lead to something that might take the best part of a month in 3 years' time. I kind of think that's some level of preparation. Don't have a problem with things going wrong. They go wrong all the time, don't they, for all of us? You know, there are issues that we can't avoid, and I think that's the thing. One of the things I talk to my students about when it comes to gigs and rehearsals and the music business, and I apply the same thing to my job as a filmmaker, musician, riding bikes, whatever it might be, is it's all about being able to overcome or avoid the things that you can overcome or avoid, and that just takes a bit of preparation. I'm not the world's most organised person, but anyone can sit down and kind of make a list of things that might go wrong or things that might need looking into and prepare for that. And I think the thing that frustrates me the most out of all this is A, the acceptability of the lack of preparation. No one seems to call it out. No one says, but wait a minute, like you could have done this, this and this. It's always, that's such a shame, you made such a good effort, and it's such a shame those things went wrong. And no one's saying, yeah, they went wrong, but it's actually your fault they went wrong. could have done something about it. And I think that's the thing that frustrates me, is the fact that people could do things to avoid or overcome them. So today we'll correct this issue, and I'll take it out tomorrow and I'll give it another test. And if it goes wrong, I find another problem, I'll correct that. And that's the purpose of tomorrow's ride, will be simply to test this out on some trails to see if there are any problems. And there's a famous saying, isn't there? Failure to prepare, you should prepare to fail. And the 7 Ps, like they have in military terminology, and in my industry as it is in many others, it's not okay to make mistakes. You know, forget how songs go, or not have your metronome settings at the right tempo, or not have spare strings or a pencil in your case, whatever it might be. Can you hear that? That is the sweet, sweet sound of a silent cassette. So rather than making all of this neg, let's focus on some pos. In my search for new channels in my kind of off-road adventures, I found 3 channels that I really love what the people are doing. They may not be the greatest channels in the world in terms of content, but what they're actually doing is great. The first one is called Always Another Adventure, and that is an amazingly well put together channel. It's actually doing brilliantly well, but it might not be one you're aware of. A guy called Simon, older chap in his 60s, he lives in Scotland, former BBC presenter, and I instantly recognised that style. Makes amazing videos. I'll put all the links to these in the description here and at the end of the video as well. Second one is a guy called Matt Page, who lives over in Wales, does some just astonishing rides. He does reviews for websites, but he also does just some outstanding rides that don't really seem to kind of hit the mainstream. And then finally, a chap called Pete, who I came across looking for GB Duro information, has a channel called Peddling Squares. Again, a chap who is astonishingly honest, did the GB Duro and got as far as Edinburgh before he couldn't ride any further, and was really, really honest about the way things went for him and why they went the way they did. And so, in a change to the usual scripted ending to any YouTube video, rather than subscribing to my channel, subscribe to one of those 3 channels. Go to watch some of their videos, leave a comment, give them a thumbs up, tell them I sent you, and until the next video, take good care of yourselves.